When you start playing FC25, you might be irritated by some of the passes you play. Or your players, of course. It's always their fault. Anyways, your passes might be played with not enough power, a little bit off target, too bouncy, or sometimes all of this together at once. Yes, passing became really difficult in FC25. In this video I will give you a breakdown of what is important now to play quick, flawless passes and also the best passing techniques that you should definitely start using in your attacks. Let's start with the challenges. First of all, the setup for the pass is more important. By setup we mean the discrepancy between your viewing direction of the player and the passing direction. From now on we will call this the passing angle. The bigger the passing angle, the more challenging the pass is to be played with proper accuracy and power. Especially when we go beyond 90 degrees, the variance or spread of a pass will increase. But not only the passing angle is part of the setup, but also how much control you have over the ball, but also the player. There is a difference whether you play a pass first touch on a bouncing ball while your player is turning, in comparison to having full control over the ball and player because you play it out of a slow jog up forward. This brings me to the next point. One-touch passes. These are even more demanding on your player, so per se, they also have a higher spread on the outcome of the direction. So just keep that in mind. One-touch passes need extra consideration of how and when you play it, but more about that later. Another factor which makes passing so challenging in FC25 is the execution time. Overall the game feels more heavy in dribbling, but also how fast your actions are executed. You do the input for the pass, but the pass is played after some delay. This is especially the case after taking a turn. This makes it harder to get the right timings for the pass. And the next problem because of that might be a weird direction that you play the pass to, or which player gets selected to receive the pass. See, when the pass takes a bit longer to be played, you might already change the input of the left stick, and if you have the pass receiver lock setting on late, this can still influence the direction of the pass. But also just handling the passing system with power and aiming might need some adjustments and time to get used to. On that matter, let's have a quick look at the passing settings. But to keep it short, we recommend just the default settings. From my personal experience, there's not a magic setting that fixes all of your problems. If you want to learn more about the settings, have a look at our dedicated settings video. So okay, a lot of little things that contribute to a different experience when it comes to passing in FC25. I could spend much longer talking about these things, but now I want to focus on how we should adjust to these challenges. The number one priority when it comes to passing is the passing setup. Here are the biggest mistakes being made. Not taking the extra touch to get a better passing angle can be the difference between playing a decent pass to just losing the ball and conceding because of it. So that's already one golden rule. Don't rush your passes with poor setups because they will either slow down your build up tremendously or you will lose the ball. Try to avoid playing passes with a passing angle above 90 degrees. Instead, take the extra touch to improve the passing angle and perhaps also get better control over the ball before you then play the pass. The logical conclusion of this is that we have to play less aggressive passes. Before FC25, I was able to rush through the midfield with quick passing combinations, playing fast between midfield, attackers, wingers, just a quick, ruthless sequence of passes, and I was going through the defense like a hot knife through butter. Now I have to tune it down a bit. This was one of my biggest learnings at the beginning of FC25. When in doubt, don't play the aggressive pass, but instead play it safe. The same applies when you spot space and a run being made by a winger. It is so intriguing to just give it a try, but if you don't have the proper setup for it, those passes won't work, trust me. But now you might say, how am I supposed to score a goal then? Dribbling is slow, I need to slow down my passes and play rather safely. How do I create the attacking power required to pressure the defense? That's a really fair question. One solution could be to learn the meta techniques which we explain in our FC25 release meta course at the Guide Plus. But we don't only focus on the overpowered things, but you can also actually learn how to play on a fundamental level with comprehensive courses about how to defend or how to attack in FC25. Click the icon in the top right corner or the link in the video description to learn more about it. Coming back to passing, you have to be smarter about it. Yes, avoid those passes with real garbage setups, but that doesn't mean you can't get away with those passes that are right on the edge. You can still play fast passing combinations, but you have to find the right moments and spots for it. So when you're attacking, try to find the right balance between the situations at which you have to slow it down a bit because you don't get the right passing angles in that moment, and the attacks with quick one-touch passing combinations because you have the players in the right positions for it. In this attack I just won the ball possession right after kickoff. I could have played a very optimistic pass forward, but I played it a bit more safe to then get the ball to my striker. From here there wasn't much available, so I played it back to my CM. With another pass to my other CM, I was missing the clear options, but I didn't rush anything. Just one moment later I had the options up forward, so I played the pass, but from here I wasn't really able to get something going. I was looking in the wrong direction to start some passing combinations with my other two attackers. So once again I recycled the ball back to my CM. With both my CMs in position and also an attacker forward, I saw the chance to finally speed up my attack. I played two one-touch passes, the second one a bit more risky, but this was needed to finally break through the opponent's midfield line, which gave me some space in front of me. I could have immediately played a through ball to my striker into the open space, but I had a poor passing angle and was pressured from behind, so the passing setup just wasn't good enough. So I waited a bit to find the right timing for the pass. I got my striker in such a dangerous position, so the opponent had to cover that threat, which gave me the option to lay it back off. The last pass wasn't with a perfect passing angle, but any further dribbling touches would have given my intention away and more time for the opponent to cover that option. So I played it right away, and from there it was an easy goal. As you can see, composed and well prepared passes with one pass right on the edge did the trick. It is really important that you don't get too afraid or concerned about taking a risk here and there. You probably heard that already quite a lot by now. You have to get the fundamentals right, which means play the passes with proper setups. But part of the learning curve is also to understand when you can push it a bit to speed up your play. This is one of the chances you have to actually create goals in FC25. Another tip to make passing easier for you is already think about the next pass before controlling the ball. Try to plan one step ahead, because that way you can already control the ball in the direction you want to play the pass, which overall accomplishes two things. It increases your quality of passes, but it also speeds up your play since you don't waste any time. If you control the ball and then start turning to play the next pass, you lose valuable seconds. So with every pass, try to already plan your next move. Sometimes you won't be able to follow through since your opponent is doing a good job in defending and anticipates your next move, but if they don't, it helps tremendously to increase your level of passing. In the second part of the video, I want to present you 3 passing techniques which are quite important or helpful when it comes to being successful in FC25. Let's start with a driven pass. I just ended the segment before with how important it is to speed up your game from time to time. The driven pass is exactly the right tool for this. You do it by holding R1 or RB while you press X or A for a pass. This pass is played with more decisiveness and power, which allows you to take immediate advantage of space or open teammates. There are 2 typical spots for it to use. One is playing up forward in your build-up or also towards the edge of the box. This can be extremely helpful to get forward and get through the midfield before opponent's players close down those passing lanes. This pass is as helpful because it enables you to pick up some speed in your attack. There are also some horizontal or diagonal passes to play in your build-up that could be a driven pass. If this suits your way of playing, you should look for players with the 2 following playstyles. Ping pass, which makes the driven pass played with even more power and higher accuracy, but also easier to trap for the receiver. And the first touch playstyle, which allows the receiver also to trap the pass with more control. But another great application of the driven pass is to play it horizontally inside the box. This year the attackers are doing a pretty good job getting themselves in promising positions at the second post when you are inside the box, approaching the goal line. In those kind of situations, you should always consider the driven pass to play a powerful pass across the goal to have an easy tap in. As the second technique, we have a really fundamental one, the lob through ball. This kind of pass has years of history in FCs and FIFAs, but in this year's iteration it feels particularly strong. For lob through ball you have to hold L1 or LB when playing a through ball with triangle or Y. You can play them over really long range, but also the short chip passes work pretty well. The long range variant already shaped the meta last year. Especially players with a long ball playstyle excel at this pass. But you have to trigger runs to really take advantage of this. Trigger a run of a player, for example winger or fullback, by aiming towards the player and pressing L1 or LB. Now it's about timing, getting the ball to the right player to play the pass, and of course getting your player in a good position to send it deep. Another way to trigger the run is by initiating a 1-2 pass. When you play a normal ground pass with L1 or LB, the passer starts a run right after. Also a great way to get your player forward and then play a lob through ball over a long distance. But the lob through ball also has some real good spots for getting the ball above the defensive line on rather short or medium distances. Here you don't have to plan out your whole attack from the back like with the long distance lob through balls, which I personally don't like that much. But instead you can trigger runs when you see opportunities for it to then play the lob through ball soon after. Once again, both techniques to initiate runs are useful here. Especially in combination with one-touch passes, you can try to bait out a defender to create a bit of space and gaps to then play it above. From my personal experience, I have to use the lob through balls more often in comparison to the ground through balls in FC25. Situations at which I would have felt comfortable playing it low, I play it high now. At last, I want to highlight a technique which is pretty overlooked so far, the low crosses. We already talked about the improved attacker movement when getting into the box. Especially on counter-attacks or winning the ball in the opponent's half, you might have an open teammate in a promising position, but you don't really know what the best pass is here to play. Lob through ball, a regular cross, driven pass. I noticed that the low cross is perfect for these situations. With the low cross you curve it around the last defender, but also get the ball to your striker in a way which isn't as hard to convert on, giving you the option to either trapping the ball before shooting on goal or you just finish on first contact. For a low cross you have to press and hold the crossing button, but then quickly tap it a second time before crossing the ball. With the first press you power up the cross and the second press is the confirmation to play it low. Those low crosses were a real revelation for me when I started using them. I think due to better positioning and a better execution of the pass, the low crosses are really powerful this year. So that's it, you fixed your passing. With these techniques and also the tips from before, you should be well prepared now. Happy about the insights you got here? Then I would recommend viewing the video that you can click on the screen right now. It's the same video like this about dribbling, also a major pain point in FC25 and equally important. Thanks for watching, keep a clean sheet, I'm out.